I know, but I'm not giving him that satisfaction. So that he can Instagram his pig muscles and do hashtag cardio. Speaking of fat, when Joe came back to the club, he was very heavy.
Sorry, Dan.
We had a coach. We had a coach by the name of Brian Muller. Wow, the Nyack guy knows him too. Who said to me, Rob, throw this kid balls. Watch him kick it. And like we were playing long snapper and punter on a football team, I had to sit and fire balls to this tubby man and watch him hammer them into the woods at the Middletown Village School. That's our new guy. Very impressive. Joe had a very short attention span for that kind of rugby, though. Very quickly into that, Joe, for some reason, found something in us, that group of ragtags who survived the 2003 schism, and started to demand more of us. And when he started to demand more of us, he didn't actually say anything. He just started scoring a bunch of tries and giving us dirty looks. He just started going to the gym and giving us dirty looks. He just started sending emails and giving us dirty looks through the emails. There's been nobody personally that I've spent more time during my athletic career trying to meet the bar of than Joe. And that isn't because
he was in high school?
We're the same age, JoJo, me and Joe, all right? So you guys had that weird high school Joe thing, which maybe we should talk more about if all of you would all come up here and sit down. High school Joe with his long hair. Weirdos. Joe, there are a few people that brought us back to winning and brought us back to first respectability and then the highest levels that we had reached in 25 years. That was the mad scientist Pat, and that was the heart and soul of the team, which was Joe. Joe showed us what it took to win. Joe showed us what we needed to do to win just by being on the field. Joe would command 10 guys on defense. Teams would build their entire game plans around Joe, which was cute, but really what it did was it required us to get better so that somebody else could score the try when 10 guys tackled Joe. Joe as a leader was second to none. There are some guys who are built around making a lot of noise, like Dougie. No, right, don't mischaracterize this. There are others who are great leaders because they do and they act. Joe showed us how to play rugby. Joe showed us how to be Monmouth men, because as much of an absolute monster as Joe was on the field, Joe was the first guy to tell us to put our blazers on after the game.
Yeah, Joe.
Joe was the guy that taught us to respect the colors. Joe was the guy that at the end of practice would tell us before a playoff game that we were playing for something bigger than ourselves, bigger than the 25 guys on the field, that we were playing for all of you and for this building and for this house, the house that Frank Fisher built. The house that Bob Buffani built. Where's your blazer? Put it on. Seriously. I am grateful and I am blessed to be standing here talking about my very good friend Joe, but the man that needs to finish this presentation today is none other than his baby brother, little Nicky Lucarelli.
I just want to make note that I think it is funny, the year that Joe gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, the world essentially shuts down. There's a global pandemic. But that's the type of impact Joe was always doing. Look at this crest that you wear. I've lived here my whole life. I've been around the club since 2002, when Joe was high school Joe. I introduced myself to Robbie on a sevens field, which I had no business being on. And I said, hey, I'm high school Joe's brother. Nice to meet you. Because I knew that would make an impact of, hey, maybe I shouldn't beat this kid. And it worked. It worked. You hear about this club. You hear the passion, the family, the bloodline. I'm going to keep it short, but I was fortunate enough to actually play with my family. Being captain with him in I think the 2011 or 12 through 14 was one of the greatest honors of my life. It was one of the best things I ever worked towards because Joe made everything better. I've been chasing him my entire life and I've had a great fucking life. And it's going to continue to get better because that's the man that I'm chasing, and it's making better. And there's a lot of people, a lot of faces here, and a lot of different age groups that can say they played with that dude, and they tried not to disappoint the number 12 that didn't say anything out there. Didn't say a word, but he didn't have to. He never had to, because you always did it for the colors. There was a point where we were talking about potentially putting names on the back of jerseys, and there was one voice that was very loud but very silent at the same time. And you don't play for your name. You play for the guy to the left and the right. You play for the colors, you play for the crest. I flew in from Phoenix, red-eye, haven't slept in a very long time. Because that kid is my family. And this is my extended family. My extended family. And that spirit right there tells you what this club actually is. And I was just fortunate enough to be on his coattails, and I fucking rode them to right here. I hope to God, if I get a maroon jacket at some point, I'm blessed to be able to represent that club and that name. It's because of 95% I'm chasing that kid's shoulders.
Right.
That kid. He inspires so many generations, and just understand that, new boys. This is what it's about. There's a lot of things this club provides. It's always there for you. Things come and go, but Monmouth has been there my entire life. We're coming up on 50 years. Not many things last that much. This club does. And it's a fucking honor. Enjoy that, remember that, and I can't wait to introduce this next inductee to the Hall of Fame, because he's my brother. This kid is what Monmouth is. Congratulations.
What you deserve, kid?
Wow. I'll try my best here, folks. Give me a minute. I started with Monmouth Rugby Club 2 weeks, I believe, before my 18th birthday. Having watched
18-year-old Joe.
17-year-old. I thought there was a waiver required. There was not. I was doing what's called a rucking drill in the sand behind an elementary school with a bunch of grown-ass men. Like angry ones. I dedicated my time, my energy, my body to Monmouth Rugby for the 16 years following, and I want to thank my family, my wife, and all of the wives and boyfriends and husbands, and just run the list, for letting us do whatever the fuck it was we were doing out there for all that time. Yeah. But I think any man or woman gets the full Monmouth Rugby experience in 4 seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. I spent my fall in the service of legends like Jason Peterson and Kevin Walsh, Brian Muller, Tommy DeMarks, Mark Cantonese, my first captain. Just unbelievable. Jack Heidelberger, just folks that literally showed me the ropes and you gentlemen got me through some of the most trying times of my life. Whether you knew it or not, I think there was times you did. And women so badass, they had one name, Val and Fran. And Kate Kelly has two names, but she's bad as fuck. And you're next, Kate, you're next. Fuck yeah. I spent my winter with Kenny Molina and Colin O'Neill and a few others, too many to name. Just bitch at me when we get into the bar if I missed you. Traveling what felt like hours with 16 guys to play 3 hours of fucking rugby. We didn't even leave the field in between A and B for the better part of a year and pick ourselves up and just head home and just, you know, smiles on our faces, including an out and back to Boston Irish for 300 points we lost by that day. Right? Congrats on your retirement, Jack Heidelberger. And then we took the bus.
14 strong.
It was a tough day, yeah. And we took the bus right home right afterwards. We had some fun on that bus though. In my spring, I met Rob Morello and Nick Lynch, and we brought Pat Maroney on as the coach, and things were just hopeful for the first time. Things just clicked for the first time, and great athletes make teams good. Coaching makes teams great, and Pat Maroney was an unbelievable coach, and I'm honored to have captained and played under him. Thank you, Pat, for what you did for the club. Thank you for what you did for me and the rest of these boys. And then, you know, my summer, my time in the sun, arguably one of the best teams I've ever been a part of in my life, the best teammates I've ever had in my life, too many to name. Some came out today to run around, some are with us, some are not. But what's made this club so exceptional, so special for so long is the people that choose to dedicate their lives, their bodies, their time, their money to this place, to making sure that this place stays this way.
Yeah.
So please, let's not make this about me, but let's raise a glass to the fucking Monmouth Rugby Football Club. Cheers.